You believe you are an objective judge of character. You believe you see people for who they truly are, stripped of their titles, their clothes, and their faces. You are wrong. You are a victim of the halo effect, a cognitive hijack where your brain and its infinite laziness takes a single positive trait, like physical beauty or effortless confidence, and uses it to paint a masterpiece of perfection over a person's entire identity. The architects of social engineering and the masters of the global market have discovered a dark secret. If you can make the package look divine, the world will never bother to check the contents. You aren't trusting a person. You are trusting a silhouette. You are being colonized by a glow. This is not just a bias. It is a mental prison with golden bars. The psychologist Edward Thorndike first exposed this flaw in the human operating system in 1920. He noticed that military officers, when asked to rate their soldiers, couldn't separate physical fitness from character. If a soldier stood straight and looked handsome in his uniform, the officers automatically assumed he was also brave, loyal, and technically brilliant. Your brain is a shortcut machine. It takes one bright light, the halo, and spreads it like a wildfire across a person's entire moral landscape. In the United States, this is why tall, attractive men earn significantly more over their lifetime, a phenomenon known as the beauty premium. It is why pretty defendants get lighter prison sentences for the exact same crimes committed by ordinary people. You think you are voting for a policy. You are actually voting for a bone structure. You are being ruled by an aesthetic that you never agreed to. The philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer warned that the world is my representation. Your perception is not a window into reality. It is a filter of your own internal biases. When you see a successful-looking man in a tailored suit on Wall Street, your brain projects a halo of competence and morality onto him. You assume he is a leader. You assume he is wise. You never stop to think that the suit might be the only professional thing about him. The elite understand this visual tax. They know that the most dangerous predators always wear the most beautiful skins. They don't fall for the mask. They look for the shadow. They know that radiance is often the ultimate distraction from rot. In a world of shadows, the one who carries the brightest light is often hiding the darkest secrets. Consider the celebrity authority scam, a phenomenon that has paralyzed the American mind and the global youth. Why do we trust actors to give us medical advice or athletes to tell us which financial institution is safe? It is the halo effect in its purest, most toxic form. Because they are good at acting or great at a sport, our brain lazily transfers that talent to their entire soul. We assume their excellence is universal. We forget that a man can be a genius with a ball and a fool with a bank account. The elite practice categorical isolation. They judge a man's financial advice by his balance sheet, not by his smile. They judge a woman's leadership by her results, not by her charisma. They break the halo to see the raw, unpolished reality underneath. They understand that a halo is just a circle of light that blinds everyone inside it. The strategist, Machiavelli, noted in The Prince that everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. The halo is the ultimate weapon of the modern prince. In the corporate hierarchy of the USA, the halo is carefully manufactured through branding and public relations. A company with a minimalist logo and a green mission statement is granted a halo of ethics, even as they exploit labor in the third world. You buy the ethics because the font was elegant. You are being conquered by aesthetics. You are a prisoner of the pretty. The marketing departments of the world are not selling products. They are selling halos. They are wrapping junk in a radiant fog so you don't notice the smell of decay. Friedrich Nietzsche spoke of the mask. He argued that every profound spirit needs a mask to survive the gaze of the masses. The halo effect is the mask that the system uses to hide its profound incompetence. Think about the confident consultant. He speaks with such absolute authority and uses such complex buzzwords that your brain enters a state of cognitive ease. You never question if his plan actually works because his confidence has created a halo of truth. You are being led into a ditch by a man who is just very good at describing the fall. Nietzsche knew that the herd loves the light, but the masters know that the light is often artificial. To be a master, you must be able to see in the dark, where the halos don't exist. The philosopher Michel Foucault talked about power knowledge, the idea that power is not just about force, but about how information is structured and presented. The halo effect is a form of power that structures your knowledge. It tells you who is trustworthy before they even speak a word. It creates a natural hierarchy that isn't based on merit, but on the glow. When you walk into a room and defer to the person who is the best dressed or the most articulate, you are participating in your own colonization. You are giving up your sovereignty to a visual signal. Foucault would argue that the halo is the ultimate tool of the panopticon, a system where you police your own thoughts based on the perceived authority of those who look the part. Daniel Kahneman, in his groundbreaking work on System 1 and System 2 thinking, showed that the halo effect is a product of our System 1, the fast, instinctive, and emotional part of the brain. It hates ambiguity and it loves harmony. It wants to believe that good things go together. If a person is beautiful, they must be kind. If a person is confident, they must be right. This is the aesthetic prejudice that ruins lives and builds empires. The elite train their System 2, the slow, analytical, and logical mind, to intervene. They force themselves to look at the individual parts rather than the integrated whole. They perform a mental autopsy on every charismatic figure they meet. They isolate the beauty from the brain, the suit from the soul, and the voice from the vision. Think about the Silicon Valley founder archetype. He wears the same black turtleneck every day, speaks in visionary and disruptive terms, and has an office filled with beanbags and neon signs. These are all anchors for the halo effect. Investors in America pour billions into a company with zero revenue because the founder looks like a genius. They are not investing in a business. They are investing in a halo. We saw this with Theranos. We saw it with WeWork. And we see it every day in the stock market. People don't buy the what, they buy the who, and the who is usually just a carefully curated halo. When the halo finally shatters, the world acts shocked, but the elite were never blinded to begin with. The writer Nassim Taleb warns against the expert problem and the danger of empty suits. He argues that in many fields, the people who look like experts are actually the least competent because they have spent all their time perfecting the look rather than the skill. The halo effect is the empty suit's greatest ally. It allows the man with the right hair and the right accent to climb to the top of the food chain, while the man with the real, dirty hands solution is ignored because he doesn't look the part. This is the tragedy of the modern meritocracy. It has been replaced by an aesthetocracy, where the appearance of success is more valuable than success itself. How do you shatter the halo? You must practice radical dissection. You must take a person, a brand, or an idea and strip away its most attractive quality. If this politician was physically repulsive and had a high-pitched, annoying voice, would I still agree with his words? If this premium product came in a plain, brown cardboard box with no logo, would I still pay 10 times the market price for it? If this mentor was stuttering, nervous, and wearing a stained t-shirt, would his advice still sound like wisdom? This is the Ugliness Filter. It is the only way to find the core in a world of covers. It is the only way to protect your capital and your mind from the radiant thieves who roam the streets of our society. The philosopher Blaise Pascal noted that the heart has its reasons which reason knows nothing of. The halo effect is the heart's way of lying to the head. It makes us feel safe in the presence of beauty. But beauty in nature is often a warning. A poisoned dart frog is beautiful. A predator's eyes are glowing. We have forgotten that radiance is a biological weapon. We have become children staring at the sun, wondering why we can't see the path in front of us. To be sovereign is to look away from the sun and focus on the ground where your feet are moving. Consider the halo of history. We often look at historical figures through a golden lens, ignoring their atrocities because they were great leaders or brilliant artists. This is the halo effect applied to time. It prevents us from learning the real lessons of power. The elite don't worship heroes. They study mechanics. They don't care about the halo of a king. They care about the leverage the king used to stay on the throne. They understand that every great man in history was just a human being with a very effective public relations team. In the digital age, the halo effect has been weaponized through algorithms. Instagram filters are literal halos. They smooth out the reality of a human face until it becomes a signal of perfection. We are now competing with halos that don't even exist in the physical world. This creates a state of permanent inadequacy. You look in the mirror and you don't see a halo. You see a human. And because the world has anchored you to the radiant mask, being human feels like a failure. This is the ultimate psychological trap of the 21st century. The sociologist Jean Baudrillard would say we are living in the hyperreal, a world where the halo is more important than the sun. We are obsessed with the image of the thing, not the thing itself. We buy luxury not for the quality of the leather, but for the halo of the brand. We follow influencers not for their knowledge, but for the halo of their lifestyle. We have become consumers of light, starving for the substance that we have traded away for a glow. Most people will finish this video and go right back to being blinded. They will walk into a store tomorrow and buy a product because the packaging felt premium. They will meet someone charming at a party and trust them with their secrets. They will let a well-dressed liar bypass their immune system of suspicion. They will stay trapped in the glow of appearances until they are burned by the reality of the character. They are the worshippers of the surface, the dwellers in the shallow, the moths flying into the flame of their own destruction. But you have stayed until the end because you have felt the sting of the halo trap before. You have realized that radiance is often just the distraction used by a magician before he steals your wallet or your soul. You are ready to start measuring substance and stop measuring shine. You are ready to be a master of the underlying truth. You are ready to see through the golden fog that covers the eyes of the masses like a heavy shroud. The door to the elite is not beautiful. It is not sleek. It is not modern. It is often a plain, heavy, iron door, hidden in a back alley of reality. The masses walk past it because it doesn't have a halo around it. It doesn't look Instagrammable. It doesn't promise easy success. But inside that door is the only thing that matters: the raw, unvarnished, and powerful truth of the world. This is the final secret. The world wants you to judge the book by its cover so they can keep selling you empty pages at a premium price. They want you to follow the brightest leader so you don't notice where he is leading you. But the 100,000 know that the most valuable treasures are often hidden in the most ordinary, unpolished boxes. Subscribe to join the elite who judge by the core, not by the coat. The light is a lie. The substance is real. Your eyes are the prize.